Say what you will, but the last few days of watching Destiny's content has been just so entertaining.
You know, some people, they'll eat like the whole Oreo, and then other times they twist them and then they like eat the frosting first because everybody has like their own process. I'm curious for you, do you like suck out like the blue parts of the Tide Pods first, or do you eat the whole thing in one bite when you're chowing down on them every night? What a retarded summary of everything that I said. Yeah, you sound like a extra really in My Cousin Vinny, okay? Thanks for the input, okay?
Okay, now I'm sure a lot of you know he's been going pretty crazy towards conservatives. He made fun of that guy who got shot at the Trump rally. He said a lot of controversial things.
Fuck it, fuck the dude, the firefighter guy. If one of you were in the crowd and you're a conservative fan of mine and you end up, getting blown away or whatever the fuck, I'm making fun of you the next day on Twitter.
Do you condemn the shooter shooting Donald Trump?
No. Not here, not on this program, not in front of these people. Absolutely.
You do not condemn a deranged shooter.
These people?
I mean, it's actually one of the most disgusting things that I've ever heard in my life. My entire staff in my studio right now all gasp at that.
Now, my prevailing feeling is this is kind of funny, seeing all this pearl clutching, seeing this guy unashamedly dig his heels. It's been pretty cathartic. It's been nice to listen to. But is it a good thing? I'm not as sure. Make no mistake, there's been aspects of this that has felt very vindicating. Like here's Destiny saying that he regrets being so amicable in previous mainstream appearances.
I would look at my performance over the past 6 or 7 months, where I think I've had more penetration into mainstream-ish media than I ever had before, but I'm not happy with those conversations. I don't think those were that good. So when I look at the lukewarm conversations or the milquetoast conversations that I had with Jordan Peterson, with Ben Shapiro, with these types of figures, and then I look at the arguments that I made, I would say, well, actually I don't know if I represented my side too well, because it's just a bunch of centrists coming together going like, wow, what a nice conversation, but not actually seriously considering any of the ideas being presented, just being happy that both sides were calmly speaking to each other.
Bro, I said this exact thing ages ago. No one is actually arguing or even discussing anything. No one is talking about any of the points Destiny or Shapiro made. They're all just patting themselves on the back going, wow, wasn't that so civil and polite? Quite simply, my issue is Destiny was just way too weak. I understand that he wants to come across as a reasonable liberal or whatever, but being this tame, at a certain point, you're almost controlled opposition.
When somebody says, wow, this has been such a nice conversation, I think what's happening is I'm fooling people into shrinking the Overton window of what they think acceptable political thought is.
I think to the average person, it may seem like these two had comparably reasonable arguments.
For Ben Shapiro saying like, oh yeah, I do grade Trump on a curve, and the fact that he tried to overthrow the government is okay because I think the guardrails will hold next time. We should have had a 2-hour debate, about just that answer. The whole conversation about that.
I think he should have realized the day of the election that he lost the election, but that's not. But
again, this is a big statement from Ben and a big moment for Destiny. He set it up perfectly. Now you have to go for the throat. But Destiny doesn't push hard enough to force a clear, non-waffly, emotionally impactful statement in that way. Okay, can we just take a moment, all of you, just take a moment and acknowledge, man, I am based. But anyway, I'm not completely sure if what he's doing now is right either. I think there's a bit of a middle ground between being so subservient and going full guns blazing, nuclear, destroying everything in your path. Like, he is basically burning virtually every conservative bridge. Like, some of these people may never talk to him ever again.
If he said it like that, people would be like, come on my show and debate that. That's shocking. Instead, he's gloating and saying things like, you deserve to burn in hell, you traitor scum. I had someone ask me, Tim, would you host him again? I said, no, he's never allowed on my show.
By the way, all these people pearl clutching right now, they've all said way crazier stuff.
Imagine if I found out that actually for 3 months, there was a teacher talking to him about gender or sexuality, maybe calling him Justine instead of Justin, and I didn't know about that. I might kill that person. That's where we're at.
Like, here's Rubin telling Democrats to go set themselves on fire.
For years, since before Donald Trump was president, have been calling him Hitler and his supporters Nazis. What would someone do if they truly believe that?
This is crazy, because this is like a very classic lefty argument about like stochastic terror and stuff. Like, people used to say that right-wing rhetoric leads to stuff like mosque shootings. I vividly remember people made this accusation of like Shapiro, because one of his fans actually did shoot a mosque. And every conservative played defense for him.
This is a campaign now to blame Ben Shapiro for inciting a deadly on a Canadian mosque last year?
The court was shown evidence that the perpetrator's favorite tweeter was Ben Shapiro.
500,000 radical Muslims here in the United States. We're above 800 million Muslims who are radicalized. More than half the Muslims on Earth. That's not a minority, that's now a majority. And, unfortunately, that's going to get a lot of civilized people killed.
Explain how you are allegedly involved in inspiring this horrible attack.
Again, all of this is nonsense generated by the left, specifically in order to shut down free speech.
So a few years ago, it's all, nah, you're paranoid, free speech, by the way. But now,
his political opponents have defined him as literally Hitler. And when you keep saying your political opposition is literally Hitler, who is going to take America into a new dark age, when you say that over and over and over again, you are turning up the temperature. And it's how you get what happened yesterday.
We will drive out the globalists. We will cast out the communists, Marxists, and fascists. We will throw off the sick political class that hates our country. We will rout the fake news media.
This is a big reason why I found Destiny's approach so cathartic. These people are actually shameless.
Conservatives have completely bled that well dry. Even the idea right now of saying, well, if you call somebody a Nazi for so long, it's, what do you expect people to do? I grew up listening to Rush Limbaugh call Obama a communist every single day he was on the radio. You've got conservatives that talk about how the mRNA vaccines were ways to sneak microchips into us. You've got COVID lockdowns that were done because the government was trying to take all your freedom away. They won't acknowledge anything that happened on January 6th. They say that the election was stolen and that your country is being taken from you.
But still, there's some part of me that's like, long term, I don't think stooping as low as them is a good thing. Maybe I'm naive, but I do think you lose some valuable reach when you seem this unhinged. I know personally that when I disagree with him on something, it's way more off-putting and way harder to see where he's coming from when he is being super fucking edgy all the way throughout, I feel like too often he fluctuates from one extreme to the other in order to balance himself out, rather than consistently just swimming in a more balanced state. Yeah, I don't think it's that good to go on a tirade of tweets talking about how the guy who died at the rally had it coming. I feel like Destiny will become a tool for conservatives to essentially point to and be like, look how crazy they are on the left. But hey, what do I know? Maybe being a spurg gets so much more attention that it's ultimately actually way more effective. Actually, I just found this. That is his thinking. That being this edgy and provocative is basically a ploy for attention, a way to get the discourse going, And look, maybe strategically that's right. That's the best way to go about things, but I don't like it. I don't think it's a good precedent. That guy who died, he has family who may come across this kind of thing. That sucks. Look, I am a little bit torn. I could be wrong.
Show them the way they should be behaving.
Have been doing it for 8 years. There's nothing to be gained there. So instead,
I think that Destiny is right about this, by the way. You should never show somebody sympathy they wouldn't show you. That's if you do that, they'll just take advantage of you. Oh, and people can get mad about what I'm saying. You can get mad about what I'm saying, but I think this is a more effective way to get power. You can say this, it's morally wrong, but I think that using the same things against people that they use against you, no matter what, is more effective and a stronger method of getting power and maintaining power. Absolutely.
Yeah, maybe. But one thing I know for sure is that Destiny should do more prepared content. Just listen to this.
Here's the plan in the simplest terms. President says, let's get 7 states to make fake electors, okay? We're going to send them to the Capitol, and I'm going to have a talk with Pence and say, Pence, you really need to come through for us, okay? I'm going to tweet out a ton of pressure on Pence to come through for us, whatever the that means. Then I'm going to invite all of my fans on the day they do the certification, the day that I plan to rig it, and I'm going to go and I'm going to rile them all up there, okay? I know that there are people in the audience with weapons. I know that. My Secret Service told me that. And I know that they're all riled up. I'm going to send them to the Capitol saying they need to tell Mike Pence to do the right things and choose the lawfully elected slaters. And then when they go to the Capitol and they start rioting, okay, I'm going to sit in my room and I'm going to make phone calls, and Giuliani's going to make phone calls to lawmakers saying, maybe you guys should delay the certification. Maybe some of these people are more mad than you are. Maybe that's your fault, guys. And then after 3 hours, when this doesn't happen, when a lady gets shot in the basement, then Donald Trump comes out and he tweets, okay, guys, time to go home because his little plot failed. It's so obvious for anybody. There's that through line. And the saddest part is Donald Trump's defense to all of this isn't to say that didn't happen. I didn't do that. I didn't say. His defense is to go before the Supreme Court of the United States and say, I need absolute criminal immunity unless I've been impeached for a crime. After the Republicans said we can't impeach him, he's already out of office. That's Donald Trump's defense. Your defense is to fabricate and deny. Donald Trump didn't even bother denying. He said that I was the president. I can't be criminally prosecuted for it. Who are you carrying water for?
That was really good. But the problem is that spiel came at the end of a mind-rotting 2-hour-long debate. Not many people are going through that crap just to find a tiny nugget of gold. You could use that argument, that little segment, as a core to build a prepared video around on why what Trump did was so insane. A foundational work like that would make his edginess a lot more understandable, a lot more palatable, and you can point people to this. And I've actually thought this for years. For every big arc or conflict or whatever that he's had, whether that's Israel-Palestine, or this Trump stuff, or vaccines, or the red pill stuff, he should have just made a 10 to 20 minute video outlining his general thoughts. I think that could be a really powerful tool. But hey, I'm the guy with the horrible upload rate, so who am I to tell him to work more? Overall, I don't like that he made fun of a random dead guy, but a lot of the stuff around that has been pretty funny. I don't know if it's effective or not. I'm kind of torn on that. And yeah, that's it.
Hi. Must have on the beat, ho, need both, any rap, nigga, yeah, free throw.